Hi everyone, I'm Victor from English Department of CUHK. Today I will be talking about digital literacy and student engagement in second language writing. From the topic, you can see that there are three key terms in today's talk. Let's unpack them one after another. Second language writing. Second language writing is the study of writing performed by non-native speakers or writers of a language as the second or foreign language. I think all of us have some experience of writing in our first language, and some of us may even find that writing in our first language is already very daunting. Second language writing is further complicated by issues such as proficiency in the target language, first language literacy, and differences in cultural and rhetorical expectations in the target language. In recent years, there has been a growing body of research on ESL, EFL, and EAL writing. So what do they stand for? ESL means English as a second language. EFL refers to English as a foreign language. EAL stands for English as an additional language. Now let's take a look at the differences between L1 writing and L2 writing. Silva conducted empirical research in 1993 to examine L1 and L2 writing with participants from different L1 backgrounds. His study showed that writers devoted more attention to generating materials in L2 than in L1. He found that content generation in L2 more difficult and less successful. He also found that L2 writers did less planning at the global and local levels. What do global and local levels mean? Global levels means the writer is dealing with the topic area from a variety of perspectives, such as generation of ideas, structure, and organization. Local level means the writer is dealing with syntactic and lexical options in the context of written texts, such as grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure. L2 writers did less goal setting and had more difficulty organizing and generating materials. In terms of lower level concerns, L2 writing was stylistically different and simpler in structure. So from the comparison, we can see that L2 writing is not easy. Some research domains in L2 writing include L2 writers' composing process. How do L2 writers compose, write, and revise? Features of L2 writers' texts. Characteristics of L2 writers, including personal identity and attitude. Feedback on L2 writing. This involves teacher, peer, and automated writing evaluation, writing assessment and evaluation, genre analysis. Now, I think you have a general idea of what L2 writing is. Let's move on to another term, digital literacy. So how is digital literacy related to second language writing? Literacy basically means the ability to read and write. So you can see the connections to L2 writing. What about digital? Language teaching and learning are increasingly mediated by digital technologies. So it's highly relevant to second language writing. Digital literacy is a term that was brought to scholarly attention by Gilster. He believed that it is an ability to understand and use information from a wide range of digital sources and to know when and how to use these technologies effectively. Digital literacy is also considered as a social practice rather than an abstract skill set. It encompasses abilities which are related to what individuals can do in particular social and cultural contexts. Let's look at a model proposed by Lancashire and Knobel in 2008. In their model, there are four components. First, underpinnings, literacy per se. We have talked about that, right? Literacy means the ability to read and write. It also involves computer and information and communications technology literacy. Second, background knowledge. Users, learners, students are expected to possess a world of information and understand the nature of information resources. Third, central competences. There are a wide range of competences included in digital literacy, such as reading and understanding digital and non-digital formats, creating and communicating digital information. It also includes how to evaluate information and synthesize knowledge. It also contains information literacy, media literacy, as well as computer and internet literacy. The last one, attitudes and perspectives. Users and learners are expected to conduct independent learning and self-regulate their learning process. They are also expected to use information in an ethical way, so that relates to moral and social literacy. Another model. This model is related to language teaching and learning. It's proposed by Jones and Hefner in 2012. In their model, there are 5 dimensions: doing, meaning, relating, thinking, and being. Each dimension has its own focus and practices. For example, doing. The focus is on actions in the physical world. For example, how to share a picture with friends and how to search for a place to eat on the internet. Meaning. It's concerned with forms of representation, such as reading a web page or posting to a social network website. We need to understand how to effectively communicate with others, how to use hypertext in multimodal contexts, how to use words, images, graphics, and sounds. Relating. It's primarily related to patterns of interaction, such as writing fan fiction for an online audience, commenting on a blog post, and collaborating with others. Thinking. Thinking refers to how to experience and think about reality, how to participate in online affinity spaces. We need to think about online communications, whether it's ephemeral, durable. What are the mindsets that lead to most productive users of digital media? And the last one is being. It refers to social identity. How do we present ourselves in a social network website? Do we adopt an expert role or a novice role in an online community? What identities are possible in digital spaces? Next, student engagement. You may wonder, how is student engagement related to outdoor writing? Well, if you want to produce quality writing. You need to be actively engaged and involved in writing process. The concept of student engagement first emerged in the work of educational psychologists such as Tyler and Pace. It was later used by cognitivist psychologists who viewed it as a meta-construct. What is meta-construct? A meta-construct is a concept that includes multiple dimensions and multiple concepts. It is concerned with students' academic achievements, positive behaviors, and a sense of classroom belonging. Fredericks, Blumenfeld, and Paris proposed three-dimension engagement. This characterization is very influential. Behavioral engagement includes time on task, student participation in academic and extracurricular activities. Emotional engagement refers to attitudes towards teachers, peers, and school. A sense of belonging in classroom, curiosity or interest about topics and tasks. Cognitive engagement is concerned with students' effort, commitment, and the use of self-regulating strategies. Here is another model of student engagement, and it is specifically related to writing. Zhang and Highland propose a model of student engagement with feedback in writing. In their model, you can see that there are three types of engagement: affective, behavioral, and cognitive. How do students engage with teacher feedback and AWE feedback on their writing? In the process of engagement, multiple individual factors and contextual factors can influence their engagements. Individual factors include L2 proficiency, strategies, and personal beliefs. Contextual factors contain institutional mechanism, learning conditions, and relationships with teachers and peers. We can look at ABC engagement in greater detail. Affective engagement refers to students' emotional responses and attitudinal reactions to feedback. Behavioral engagement is concerned with students' behavioral reactions to feedback, such as revision actions and time spent on revision. Perhaps the most challenging one is cognitive engagement, because students need to attend to feedback, conduct revision operations, and make use of cognitive and metacognitive strategies. Now, let's take a look at some automated writing evaluation programs that students can use for their writing. Here is the list of some of the programs: Criterium, MyAccess, eReader. Some of them are developed by ETS and Pearson. Others are launched by tech companies around the world. We will look at three examples. The first one is Criterium. It is a web-based instructional writing tool. To enjoy its services, you need to sign up for it and register an account. And this is the interface of Criterium. It offers a score out of 6 based on the following areas: organization, development, grammar, usage, mechanics, and style. So you can receive feedback in these areas and make improvement. Similar to Criterium, PGuide is also an AW program. It was developed by a tech company in China. You can see that it also generates overall score out of 100. It focuses on vocabulary, sentence structure, and relevance. It also provides overall comments. In terms of corrective feedback, it offers information on spelling, article, and sentence structures. And the third one is Grammarly. It was developed by a tech company in San Francisco. Similar to the other two programs, it generates an overall score and it focuses on different areas: accuracy, clarity, engagement, delivery. Here is an example that focuses on conciseness of writing. There are many talented children who fail. So Grammarly suggests that it can be changed to many talented children fail. So it looks more concise. After looking at 3 programs, now I have a question for you guys. Do you think these educational technologies and AW programs are helpful for language learning? So what's your answer? Yes, no, or it depends? I would say that it depends on many different factors. For example, whether it is used in formative or summative assessment is important. If these programs are used in summative assessment, students may focus on the score, so they also may get frustrated by the scores. However, if they are used in formative assessment, students focus on the writing and revision process. Another factor, whether these AW programs are used as complement or replacement to teacher and peer feedback. If they are used together with teacher and peer feedback, students may find them interesting, and also they are more motivated to write and revise because they can have multiple accesses to different types of feedback. That increases their learning diversity. Digital literacy. As mentioned earlier, digital literacy is very important for students to benefit from these AW programs. They need to know and understand how these programs work. Student engagement is also paramount for the success of language learning. They need to be actively engaged in the writing and revision process to benefit from the information generated from the AW programs. Of course, there are multiple factors, and I hope that you can come up with many more. Now let's wrap up today's talk. Conclusion parts. In today's talk, we focused on digital literacy, student engagement, and L2 writing. So first, digital literacy. We have looked at models, we have looked at definitions. Here, we can see that digital literacy can be roughly understood as number 1, knowledge of digital tools. We need to understand how these digital tools, AW programs work, what are their strengths and their weaknesses. Number 2, abilities to think critically. We need to be able to analyze, criticize, evaluate, and interpret the information generated by AW programs and these digital tools. We need to think in a critical way. Number 3, awareness and willingness to engage socially. Students need to develop an awareness to engage with others on the internet or in an online community, how to relate to others. ABC engagement. Student affective, behavioral, and cognitive engagement are dynamically interconnected. This is especially true in student engagement with feedback in L2 writing. They need to know how to regulate their emotions, how to conduct revision operations, and how to make use of different types of strategies. Digital literacy and student engagement are key to the improvement of L2 writing competences. So if L2 students want to improve their writing skills, they need to keep in mind the importance of digital literacy and student engagement. Some pedagogical implications: teachers are expected to focus on how to help L2 students improve their digital literacy and increase their engagements in writing and revision process. Here are some of the references for the talk. And this is the end of this talk. I hope you find this talk interesting and helpful. Thank you very much for your attention.